Good morning, everyone. I'm going to do another greenhouse pigeon coop tour. Show you what's going on. Okay. Start with the deck. These are the petunias that were in the shed. As you can see, some of them are flowering. Some more over here. Making quite a few flowers. This here is cabbage. The one that I showed you was cut that we ate, and I put it in the dirt. It's now going to seed. I'll try and save a few of them and see if they grow. That is the amaryllis back there that was in the house. I showed you that. Bear with me, I have to walk slow. This is the other amaryllis that was in the shed and is now blooming. It's making a beautiful flower. You can see it's got the two stalks. Over here, they haven't flowered yet, marigolds. These are court gesture marigolds when they flower. These are the pansies. These are wave pansies. I started them in the shed in the pigeon coop. And as you can see, they're doing beautifully. I don't know, it's going to be 88 today. Kind of warm for pansies. This is a hydrangea that I purchased. It's coming up. A couple more marigolds. And in there some more marigolds. These here petunias were outside all winter. And they survive, but the funny thing about them is they're not flowering. The ones in the shed are flowering. I think it's because I gave them a few haircuts. Okay, let's move on. I'll walk around the yard. These are some petunias that I took cuttings from. And they're flowering. As I get over here, in them pots, these little pots, are zinnias. I think the squirrel knocked one over. And these black pots are, they're wildflower seeds that I planted. I stuck them in. They're perennials and annuals. We'll see what they do. And these are the last three pots of zinnias. In here, and some of them look like they rooted, are cuttings that I took from shrubs and just stuck them in vermiculite. And I think a few of them are going to root. I hope so. I'd like to get them azaleas. This here is a flower bed I made. I put all marigolds in here so far. I'm probably going to put some impatiens in the front as they grow. Nothing on the marigolds is flowering yet. In this little bed, is where I had zinnias last year. I planted some garlic in here. Garlic has been in here quite a while, but if you look closely, you'll see little plants coming up. And those are zinnias from the seeds that fell off the zinnias last year. And they're coming up. In here I got a variety of things. Tomato plants that are growing. This little thing here is a hydrangea, but it's not growing too fast, but it's still surviving. And I'll be transplanting these out when they get a little taller. I want them to get pretty tall so I could lay them down and let them root in the ground, especially the tomato plants. And here are radishes that I planted. I got one crop of radishes already and they were just excellent. Okay, let's keep moving. There's a lot to see. Yesterday, I harvested some lettuce. We ate it last night. It was really good. But it's already grown back. I mean, this lettuce is just kind of growing like crazy. I don't know how much longer it's going to last because it is getting hot. And I don't think the lettuce will take the heat, probably both. Moving around. In here I have some sweet peas climbing up. See if they make it. I planted some yard-long beans in here, but they haven't germinated yet. All right. Moving around. In there is corn. It's sweet corn. It's a short variety. I think it's sun gold corn. And when they get a little taller, I'm going to transplant them into that bed there that I got covered with that plastic to heat up the soil. They got to grow at least another 2 leaves, probably be 3 or 4 days. Underneath here, I got more lettuce growing. This is a variety of things that I'm growing in the pots. In that there pot there is not eggplant. What the heck is the name of that? Yeah, I can't remember the name, but it'll come to me. That's a little bit of kale in that orange pot. Yeah, why can't I read? Every now and then I go brain dead. Oh, zucchini. There's zucchini growing in there. Old age, go brain dead. This is more marigolds coming up. I don't know where I'm going to put them all. I got so many of them. Back in there are the potato plants. I did videos on them that I started them in January 10th, I think it was, or 11th, or 9th. And they're coming up. I've done videos on them. In here I got some kale growing. Harvested that kale about 5 times already. Some more kale. These are Brussels sprouts. I already picked the bottom leaves off. I threw some garlic in there to help keep the bugs away. The garlic is doing good in there. That's more kale. And those are more Brussels sprouts coming up. Over here are some onions. But the squirrels really wiped me out on the onions. But there's a few coming up. This is garlic. that I planted. Doing pretty good. I transplanted these out of the big black pot I had. They were hitting the bottom and they're bending over, so I transplanted them. They look like they're going to be all right. Here is just a variety of plants. I got impatiens in here, some more marigolds, all different kinds of things. And I'll be transplanting them as they grow. Get close, maybe you can read a few labels. All right, let's move on. This is the garlic that I put in the refrigerator for about 5 or 6 weeks. Now it's supposed to be ready to harvest in 5 or 6 months. So I'm going to see. But they're doing pretty good. They're coming up. Everything is good. Oh, there's a lizard walking around. I like lizards. They eat bugs. Out here in the garden, I'll probably harvest some of this today. I like to harvest the lettuce real early. Get them when the leaves are young. Out there, I don't know if you could see it, there's a stick. Let me see. And a tomato plant coming up. You can see the lettuce a little bigger now that I enlarged the thing. In here, I have a zucchini plant. Let me show you. I had trouble planting it. Let me open this up. I had trouble planting that zucchini plant. It's in here all by itself in this big cage. Let me see, yeah, there it is. Well, one day maybe it'll fill this thing up. I put this on, I made this here so the boar don't get to it. We'll see how that works out. Okay. Under here is the truncated mulch that I'm making. I already made one pile of it. Worked out pretty good. You can make that truncated mulch with the beer, soda, and the ammonia. This is another pile of the truncated mulch. It's got to sit here another 4 or 5 days before I turn it. But worked pretty good. And lastly, over here is some corn that I started in the greenhouse. I transplanted out here. Something stepped on it already, probably the rabbits. But it's coming up, we'll see what happens with it. This is the regular corn. Takes about 70 or 80 days for maturity. But that's it. Walked around, gave you a pretty good tour, show you all the things that are happening. Give it a thumbs up, please subscribe, and stop back.